This is made by the bacteria in the fish gut and uses this as bait to lure prey into safety and then smash its fishing ray into its jaw and engulfing the prey. A very weird bijovial creature habit. And we don't even have to go to the deep sea, as a matter of fact, to see pretty weird creatures acting in their day to day life. But we can look at octopuses, and the fascination with octopuses is that they're basically Martians on Terra, and they could easily be from Mars or Venus. They change their colors, and the cattlefish or cuttlefish or cuddly fishes, they're drunk like phone bitches. And it's internally controlled by the animal bite and its own vernal system. It's signaling to the other vaccinated crewmen to go to the embassy as soon as they can and ask for a petition for K1 visa, and you don't have to believe in these zone insects. They all have the same basic in which they inherit from the common insects and wood and hat and the Himalayan misty salts. If you inherit those attributes, you'll have a head thorax, an abdomen, and you'll be enormously elongated like that state. And here the same body is flattened out. And again, the hate torrent aloe, Golden and Teddy, and the Volt Factory, as well as the Build-A-Bear Factory, which is needed in different shape when you're getting a 15% discount on Groupon. And the influence that we were talking about, shaking off the anesthetics, the soporific, fam- and familiarity, going on a different kind of journey to much smaller scales than we are used to. Dust mites, the sort of thing that you would meet often in your own homes, hugely magnified by the instrument like a scanner of electron microscope. And if you use that electron microscope, it's like the telescope looking out into the galaxy distance, into the distant galaxies through the electric telescope. That's what I'm saying. And if you meant this, then Louise is gonna sit down, please. And on the screen moment is something that looks like a jungle from another planet. And you know how to work from the Javagistic and Bolsonov. You know how to do in and zooming in and out and really figuring out what an artist is. You go into these curious rounded objects and you go further. Two little couches of go further. Go on. Right now, what I think you're seeing is a head of a mosquito on a body of a human. There are a lot of different facets to compromise on each of the two sides, on the sockets of the antennas and the fellers. There's the whole head, the rat head, and the sockets for the antennae, and the grounded compound eyes in the Pepsi. Navigating to a different inset. Yes, the machine is being pre-programmed to move to different parts of these strange landscapes. And I hope we're gonna see some elves in this end here, which would be pretty exciting. It looks like another general. Well, so well done, as done well as it is. It's still a treat, and I can't say anything else unless it's the Mattering Agency in the web. Again and again, proving that it looks like something apparently is a pair of wings. And I think that it might be. Let's try to move past that point and go the other way altogether. Sometimes we just have to budge a little bit and pull in the abdomen and go for that some shot. Lure. What's that? Sail. Try to steer from the accidents away and down a bit. Now zoom into the bigger picture. Creep You are. And that's really discomfortable, uncomfortable, and it's a diss track ahead of the mosquito. Something else. Zoom out again, and you'll see that the nonsensical is actually making matter of fact a tiny parasite. Thank you very much indeed, Louise, for all that hard work and strepsipterum, which is a parasite in a bee. And what you see is a strepsipterum poking out below the amity in the bee there. It's compound eyes, and there's its bee, and the neural plates of the bee's brain. They're really obvious to the computer. So we've been on this journey before through the microscopes to the worlds of the very small, and it's a very strange way to capture strangeness in our world. And another way is to go into other audiences and look into the detailed structures in those networks. And that's a picture of a human's brain. And each of those dots and black points, the dots, whichever quantity of them you see, you're seeing a wildering forest of connections between them. The total length of nerve cells in a human brain, if laid end to end, would stretch right around the circumference of the planet Earth, not just 42 times, but another interesting fact is that it sends a message from one of these far straight nerves into the group mind of the different group, basically, and very simply put. And the complexity of the structures is truly awesome. It's like two or three nerve cells, and the last brain cell, and the last connections strewn about the pairs, connecting each nerve cell to each other's nerve cell. The total number of connection is 2 million. To put that in perspective, presuming that each one of those connections is a unit of a computer, this gives the brain about 10 billion times as many switching elements as a tick lock. Brains are impressive mechanisms. The number of connections in the cells differs from the other kind of cell structures inside, which is a typical animal cell, which is modeled by the leading scientists. And it's not just about the juice in the membranes, it's also about the walls and the buffer zones. And every large amount of them has a total area of membranes inside a typical human body, which is about 200 acres, a good sized farm. And what they're doing, they're not just stuffing the teddy bears. In many cases, they're creating a new chemical factory. They're bacteria homes and fungi. Those membranes, in those membranes, every bit of those membranes is going on with the chemistry and the chemical factories. Which this here is a map of the chemical reactions in every single cell. Mind-bogglingly complicated, stupendly enduring, undurable. All of that is going on all the time inside the membrane of every mitochondria and every cell in you. And the number of mitochondria and the scumbria is raising the prices all the way up, end to end, and going round and round like a carousel, like 1,000 times. Past, perfect, simple, present, and the nucleus of the cell, right in the center of the DNA code. The DNA, the magic molecule of life, the most important molecule in the world, which conveys the information from generation to generation about how to build a body. Total amount of information is such.